Then the fourth feast is the Feast of Weeks, in Greek called Pentecost. That's how most believers know it by, but among the Jewish people, it is the Chag Shavuot, the Feast of Weeks. And it's called the Feast of Weeks because it comes 7 weeks plus 1 day after the first fruits. 7 weeks plus 1 day after the Feast of First Fruits. So again, there's no calendar date given for that feast. You have to just count 7 weeks plus 1 day. But because that system, it also always falls on a Sunday. Feast of Weeks is to be observed, and the Feast of Weeks is to be observed by means of special offerings and special sacrifices. Now, in rabbinic tradition, when God gave the Mosaic law, it was given on the Feast of Weeks. Also, by rabbinic tradition, when God spoke the Mosaic law, he spoke in 70 different languages. Now, in Genesis chapter 10, he lists the 70 Gentile nations that arose out of the 3 sons of Noah. They spoke all these different languages, so the law was spoken from Mount Sinai in 70 different languages for the whole world to hear. As you move into the fulfillment of the Feast of Weeks in Acts chapter 2, verses 1 through 4, what you find is that on this occasion, you see the fulfillment, the birthday of the church. The birthday of the church. Also, it was connected with the speaking in tongues, or speaking in languages, because on the Feast of Weeks, it was a pilgrimage festival. You had Jews from all over the world speaking all different kinds of languages. And so they're all able to hear the gospel in their own language. But the background was already the rabbinic tradition, the God spoke on Mount Sinai, on the Feast of Weeks, in all those different languages. And there's your connection. But the church was born on that occasion. And what is the church? Colossians chapter 1, verse 18, Colossians 1:18, the church is the body of the Messiah. The body of the Messiah. What is the makeup of the body? Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11 through chapter 3, verse 10. Ephesians 2:11 through chapter 3, verse 10 is made up of all Jews who believe and all Gentiles who believe, now united into one body. How do we get into the body? 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 13, 1 Corinthians 12, verse 13, when the body by Spirit baptism. And Paul says, for by one Spirit were we all baptized into one body, whether Jews or Greeks, whether bond or free, were all made to drink of one Spirit. So notice there's an inseparable connection between Spirit baptism and the existence of the body. One cannot exist apart from the other. See, what you have is in this, the existent body, the necessity of Spirit baptism. No Spirit baptism, no body. If you have a body, a Spirit baptism. So we can determine exactly when Spirit baptism began. That will tell us when the church began. Acts 1:5, we read, Jesus' disciples, stay in Jerusalem, and you'll be baptized by the Spirit not many days hence. So Spirit baptism was still future as of Acts 1:5, and therefore the church was still future as of Acts 1:5. Replacement theology claims the church was always around since Adam or Abraham. But it's not that if you understand the nature of the necessity of Spirit baptism with the existence of the church, then you realize the church could not exist in the Old Testament, could not exist in the Gospels. And when Jesus first mentions the church in Matthew 16, uses the future tense, upon this rock I will build my church. What he did not say is, I'll continue building something already here. But upon this rock I will build my church. It was future as of Matthew 16, and furthermore future as of Acts 1:5. So when was Acts 1:5 finally fulfilled? When did Spirit baptism begin? And the answer is in Acts chapter 2, verses 1 through 4. It's the right answer, but we have a small problem. Acts 2, verses 1 through 4 does not mention Spirit baptism. It does mention being filled with the Spirit. But being Spirit-filled is not the same as Spirit baptized. So how do we know Spirit baptism began in Acts 2, verses 1 through 4? We can go later to chapter 11 of Acts, verses 15 and 16. Acts 11, verse 15 and 16, Peter quotes Acts 1:5, and he says, Acts 1:5 was fulfilled when the Spirit first came upon us, meaning the Jews of the Church of Jerusalem first came upon the Jews of Jerusalem, the believers of Jerusalem, at the beginning. And the book of Acts, the beginning was Acts 2, verses 1 through 4. That's when Spirit baptism began, that's when the church was born, and that's when the Feast of Weeks was fulfilled. So these 4 festivals have now been fulfilled.